They are our shadows, our protectors, and our family. From the smallest lapdog to the massive mastiff, they share a common ancestor, the terrifying apex predator of the Ice Age, the gray wolf. It is one of the greatest riddles in history. How did we go from mortal enemies competing for the same meat to a bond so deep that we share our homes, our lives, and our hearts with these creatures? How did a wolf become man's best friend? We weren't supposed to be friends. Nature designed us to kill one another. Yet somehow, we rewrote the laws of the wild. To understand how this happened, we have to travel back to a time when humanity was just another species fighting for a foothold on a dangerous planet. This is the story of a cold, calculated survival strategy that accidentally turned into a love story that has lasted for tens of thousands of years. The alliance didn't start with a handshake. It started with hunger. Tens of thousands of years ago, human bands traversed the landscape, leaving behind what they couldn't consume. These camps were beacons of opportunity in the freezing darkness. Wolves, driven by extreme hunger and limited by the brutal competition of their own packs, began to hover on the fringes of our existence. They were the outcasts, the ones too weak or too cautious to fight the alpha. By hanging back, they learned that the hairless bipeds were messy eaters. We left behind bones, gristle, and discarded scraps that were far easier to acquire than chasing down a panicked elk. These wolves took a gamble. They traded their natural instinct to flee for the guaranteed caloric intake of our refuse. This was the first tentative bridge between two species. It wasn't affection that drew them in. It was the smell of survival. And for us, it was the realization that these scavengers were not just pests, but a potential alarm system. If a predator approached the camp at night, the wolves would growl, acting as a living perimeter fence that warned us long before we could see the threat ourselves.
This wasn't just a convenient arrangement. It was a biological revolution. For thousands of years, the wolves that were most comfortable around humans got the most food, while the aggressive ones were driven away or killed. This was nature's fastest experiment in selective breeding. The bold, curious wolves survived and passed on their genes, creating a new, distinct lineage, the Proto-Dog. Inside the camp, the dynamic shifted. Humans noticed that these calmer animals were easier to manage and actually helped protect the tribe. A mother would feel safer knowing a watchful proto-dog was lying near her children. Hunters began to realize that if they worked alongside these animals, their chances of a successful kill skyrocketed. We weren't just sharing space anymore. We were beginning to care for them. Those specific wolves that could read our gestures, follow our gaze, and accept our touch became the ancestors of every dog you see today. The wild was being domesticated, not by force, but by a mutual, desperate need to survive. As the brutal Ice Age finally thawed, this accidental partnership completely reshaped human history. Dogs stopped being mere camp followers and became humanity's ultimate multi-tool. We didn't just survive alongside them, we conquered the world because of them. When humans transitioned from wandering hunters to agricultural settlers, dogs adapted right alongside us.
They became the fierce guardians of our first permanent villages, keeping rival tribes and deadly predators at bay. They became our master herders, keeping valuable livestock contained and protected from theft. For the first time in history, human productivity skyrocketed because we had a loyal partner taking over the heavy lifting. But their greatest contribution was mobility. Because of dogs, humans could expand into the most hostile environments on Earth. We braved the sub-zero temperatures of the Arctic because packs of powerful dogs pulled our heavy sleds through blinding blizzards. We crossed vast, unknown land bridges because we had a fearless vanguard to clear the way. Every single step humanity took to dominate the planet, a canine paw print was stamped right beside it. They were the engine of our global expansion. As we conquered new lands, we began actively shaping dogs to fit our new lifestyles.
A single ancestral line fractured into hundreds of specialized tools. We bred massive, heavy-jawed dogs to defend our walls. We bred sleek, lightning-fast runners to hunt game in the scorching deserts. The dog became a living, breathing mirror of human adaptation. We didn't just accept the dogs nature gave us, we rewrote their physical forms. Once humans realized we could control which animals reproduced, artificial selection exploded. If a pup was born with slightly longer legs, we paired it with another fast runner to breed a hunter that could outrun a gazelle. If a dog showed a thick, impenetrable coat, we kept its lineage for the freezing north. Soon, the single bloodline of the wolf fractured into hundreds of hyper-specialized tools. We engineered heavy, muscular giants with crushing jaws to serve as living shields for our camps. We bred small, scrappy, low-slung trackers that could boldly dive into dark burrows to flush out hidden prey. For the scorching deserts, we shaped dogs with massive ears and lean bodies to radiate heat. For the snowy mountains, we selected dense double coats and wide, padded paws that acted as natural snowshoes. Every unique human challenge across the globe met a new, custom-designed canine solution. We became the architects of their bodies, and in return, they became the ultimate protectors of our species.
Today, that ancient connection is hardwired into their very DNA. This isn't just clever training, it's thousands of years of deep coevolution written directly into biology. When a dog looks at you, they aren't just scanning for food, they are reading your soul. Dogs are the only non-human animals on Earth that can effortlessly interpret human emotions, tracking our gestures and vocal commands with staggering precision. They can follow the subtle point of a finger, mirror our sorrow, and genuinely celebrate our joy. Over millennia, they learned to speak human without uttering a single word. We didn't just tame a wild beast, we invited them into our family tree. We built the modern world together, step by bloody step, shaping each other's destinies. Dogs didn't just become our best friends, we evolved alongside each other.